Hi everyone! I've sat down today to update you on how we're all doing after the loss of our sweet Roxy. Whilst I share some recent footage of the herd, Phoebe, Callie and of course Nacho, I'm staring at a screen with over 450 wonderful condolences from you all, and it reminds me just how lucky we are. Your kindness and support is overwhelming, and it really does mean so much to me. Many of you shared your own recent losses, for which I'm truly sorry. Others shared memories of past pets and how you still miss them, which just shows how we all respond to grief in our own unique way, and it's completely normal for it to weigh down on us for months and years. I thought it was only right to update you, but I also wanted to take the opportunity to talk openly about what to expect after a piggy passes, whether that's the loss of a herd member or the loss of one of a bonded pair. It's not something us guinea pig owners like to think about, but it is inevitable, and considering what comes next can make things a little less hard. But firstly, how are we doing? Well, it's been a quiet couple of weeks, definitely on the squeaking front. I'll be stood at the bottom of the stairs, tapping the edge of the veggie plate, waiting eagerly for Callie's little high-pitched squeals. She struggles, let's put it that way, but she's getting there, and I think she realises now that it's down to her, since Phoebe and Nacho are too lazy to bother. That first week especially, I felt all three of them were very subdued, which is normal, but now we're starting to settle. Nacho and Callie seem to have bonded a little closer over this last week, which is nice, whilst Phoebe is independent as ever. They've enjoyed lots of treats and lots of cuddle time, often with all three of them snoozing away together, completely oblivious to the humans. I think that's Phoebe and Callie's calming effect on Nacho. They've been telling him to chill out and relax a little more. I also treated Nacho to a thorough bath and a new haircut, although I'm not sure how much he appreciates it. His hair is so short on his bottom right now, it does make me chuckle, and you can just make out his two little bum rosettes, which is super cute. I'm hoping he's been a lot more comfortable in this recent warm weather we've had here in the UK. Callie is doing fine. We joke that she's finally become a proper-sized guinea pig after 2 years of being a baby. She even has a little dewlap, which is the baggy bit under their necks, bless her. And as it's been getting warmer, I've seen her nose splodge start to shrink, as the darker hair here is actually controlled by temperature. So Himalayan and Californian piggies' nose splodges will get bigger in winter when our piggies' extremities are colder, whilst in summer they will shrink as the darker pigment recedes in response to increasing heat. Phoebe is also doing well, although over the last few days I have noticed a bit of blood and a bit of swelling in her bladder, which isn't good news for us. If you know about Phoebe's situation, she cannot pee on her own, so that's something I have to help her with, and it also means she's very predisposed to forming bladder stones, which unfortunately is what took Roxy from us. It's looking like another vet visit for us next week to check in on how Phoebe's bladder is doing, but she's still eating and acting completely fine though, so it's not affecting her too much. The piggies have reacted how I thought they would really. And as for me, it's painful losing a piggy after just 4 years. I know it's technically when they become senior and they're more likely to run into health problems, but I felt like Roxy was in good health and she should have had more time with us. Occasionally we'll be treated to piggies like Willow and Lyra, who live to be 7 years plus, but it doesn't always go that way, and it's one of the downsides of owning guinea pigs. That said, there's still so many upsides, and when you've got other piggies to turn to for comfort, that definitely helps. So when a herd loses a member, it's quite normal for them to be less vocal and less active for a few days to a week, and then they'll start to act more like their old selves. Very rarely will you see signs of depression like not eating or drinking, but if you do, it's always possible that some health problem might be to blame, so don't hesitate to take them to the vet if you are worried. Sometimes owners report changes in dominance after a herd member passes away, especially if that member was a leader of the herd or very dominant. For us, Roxy was neither, and Nacho continues to be the boss pig. How he manages it so expertly, I don't know. He rarely ever has to show any displays of dominance, which is impressive. And if you are seeing dominance behaviours, as long as they aren't fighting or hurting each other, just see how things go, and hopefully they will settle down. Chances are that if your past piggy became ill, shifts in dominance could have started and even resolved themselves before they did pass away. And if you have a herd, assuming you are invested in the piggy cycle and you're not looking at stopping being a piggy owner, you can be flexible in terms of adding to that herd. You don't have to bring the numbers back to what they were or rush into doing anything. Your remaining piggies have each other, so you can take your time and go with whenever you are ready. For us, as I know many of you might wonder, of course the intention would be to add to the herd in time. I've already mentioned in my videos about increasing our piggy numbers along with the cage upgrade, but as it stands, we've had a lot of expenditure recently and I'm not sure exactly when the new piggy cage will be here. Of course, part of me is gutted that Roxy won't be able to enjoy it, but it will happen eventually, and when it does, we'll be ready to accept some more piggies into our lives. When a piggy passes away and leaves a single friend behind, the advice can be a little different. In those first days to a week, it's recommended to monitor them closely, spend extra time with them, bring them inside if they normally live outside, and watch out for depression-like symptoms. It's not unheard of for some piggies to grieve severely, especially if they've never been alone before. This is called acute pining, and it can happen to the point where they stop eating and drinking for themselves, which means we need to act fast and step in with some critical care or recovery food for them. Any piggy who is refusing to eat should also be taken to an exotics vet as an emergency, as it's possible any grief and stress might bring out an underlying health condition. And if your piggy is going through acute pining, it's recommended to get them a companion as soon as possible. A local guinea pig rescue might be able to help with this, and you might not feel ready, but companionship can be extremely important to a lonely guinea pig, and you have to put them first. In cases where the single piggy seems fine, there's obviously a decision to be made in terms of whether you want to keep owning guinea pigs. If you don't and you want to exit the piggy cycle, I've seen it recommended more often these days to try contacting a rescue and set up an arrangement whereby you can foster a guinea pig and return the foster once your original pig has passed away. That way you don't have to give up your existing pig and you can contribute to helping a rescue. These are just some useful bits of advice I've read on the forums, mostly the Guinea Pig Forum, which is a hugely valuable source of information on owning guinea pigs. I'll link it down below. Remember, just like us, guinea pigs are unique in how they react and grieve. There is no pattern or easy way to tell what will happen when they lose a friend. Once again, I just want to thank you so much for your lovely messages and comments. And looking ahead, I think we'll do some chilled out videos, maybe with some mildly informative topics. So if there's any requests you have for us, just let us know down in the comments below. Again, thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you soon.